Did you know that your beliefs can stop you from getting promoted at work? Now, that's a big statement. And what I mean by that is that what goes on in here has everything to do with what goes on out here. That what you're believing inside has a direct impact, a direct correlation on, quote, what happens to you. Now, that even sounds like a big statement, but every elite athlete will tell you that it's all inside, that what happens out there and whether they're going to walk away with that big trophy or not, one of the very, very biggest elements is what's inside, is their beliefs, because our beliefs inform our actions. They inform our behaviors. They inform what we do. And what we do, of course, then translates into our outcomes. So there is a direct through line between what's in here and what's out there. Now that sounds pretty academic, but let's look at three areas that I see all the time when I work with business professionals in industries across the board. The three big beliefs that I see that people have that absolutely stop them from moving forward and actually getting that promotion. First, if you're not getting promoted at work, one of the biggest culprits is the belief, I'm not like them. And what I mean by that is the self-judgment and the comparison and saying that, well, those leaders in my organization or those other people who did get promoted, they went to this school, I didn't go to that school. They have this experience, I don't have that particular experience. They have this socioeconomic background. I didn't come from a background like that. And they move themselves, push themselves into a hole of hiding and into this sense of, I'm not worthy and I don't belong there. So let's look at three things that you've got to do to let go of the I'm not like them so that you can move forward and position yourself for that next promotion. And the first thing you have to do, you have to let go of the judgment. Comparison kills progress. You've got to stop comparing yourself to others. You've got to just let that go. Their background is this. Your background is this. They came from this. You came from that. And you've just got to accept that and then move into the next piece, which is see what you have that they don't. Yeah, they've got this and this and this, which enables them to have this view, this perspective, these skills. You've got that and that and that, which enables you to have this view, this perspective, these particular skills. It's just like a company. I work with many very large international corporations. You know what? One of the big disadvantages they have is they're having trouble competing with their smaller competitors because their smaller competitors feel more personal to the customers. Their smaller competitors can move more quickly to serve the customers. So every advantage has a disadvantage, and every disadvantage, if you feel like you're at a disadvantage, has an advantage. Find that advantage and play that up in your mind. And you can play that up in interviews as well. And then third, just think about being someone who fits in anywhere. So it doesn't matter their background. It doesn't matter if they're a crown prince or princess and that you're not. You're going to fit in there because you're going to rely not on your background, but you're going to rely on your interest. You're going to rely on your curiosity. You're going to show interest and curiosity. You're going to be someone who learns. You're going to be someone of a growth mindset and not a fixed mindset. And that's going to stand you in good stead instead of keeping yourself small in your mind, which is going to keep yourself small in your life. Second, one of the biggest mistakes I see people who want to get promoted make is they say, well, I don't do that. I don't brag about my accomplishments. I don't show off about all the things I'm doing at work. Hey, we're all doing things at work. We're all working here. Why do you have to be the one who's in there just talking the boss up about how great you are? And the big mistake you're making is that that person now has the boss's ear, and now your manager is seeing, wow, they're really making a contribution here. And your manager may not be seeing that about you. And so it comes to promotion time and you don't get it. So two things you've got to do. Number one, you've got to shift your mindset around that. You got to believe that, there is value in talking with your boss about what it is you're accomplishing. If you're not telling them, how are they going to know? They're really busy. They're paying attention to a lot of other things. And if you're not actively keeping them informed on what you're doing and what the impact is of what you're doing, then they don't know. And then they can't adequately reward you come review time, come the end of the year. And so you've got to shift your mindset around that. And then you've got to learn to, secondly, you've got to learn to speak up. How can you do that in such a way? You've got to work on that. How can you do that in such a way that you don't sound like you're bragging, that you sound like you're helping inform and equip your manager with information that they need in order to make those great end of the year decisions. Third, people say it's too hard to get a promotion here. There's just only X amount of spots and everybody wants those spots. It's like there's one promotion and there's 18 of us. Why would it be me who gets that promotion? There's just not opportunity here, or they're not promoting this year, or it's too hard to get it's impossible to get a promotion here. And if you say that to yourself, then you're right. It probably is impossible to get that promotion. But here's 4 things I want you to keep in mind. Number 1, there are always, 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 always exceptions. There are always exceptions. Don't believe that it's impossible, because if the right person at the right time in the right way waltzed in there and the perception by leadership was this would make an appreciable difference in the business, that person would get a raise. That person would get a promotion. There's always exceptions. Secondly, think about where there's a will, there's a way. History is littered, and I mean in a good way, with people who have said, I'm going to beat the odds, and they have. People who have said, I'm going to step out. It seems impossible, but I'm going to do something that no one's ever done before, whether in the fields of sports or science or medicine. So many different fields that people have done, quote, the impossible. Third is you just got to talk to your boss. Make sure you let your boss know, here are my aspirations. Here's what I've done to deserve that next step. Here's my plan, and I want to collaborate with you. Ask questions. Stay in touch with your boss on this. And then fourth, talk to people. Talk to other people. How did they move up? How did it work for them? Make sure that you're forming relationships across the organization and not just having the one relationship with your manager, but with leaders in other parts of the organization, with your manager's manager. Be out there talking. But it starts with believing that, you know what, there are exceptions. I'm going to make myself the exception. So don't stop yourself from career advancement and growing at work and getting that next promotion by thinking things like, well, I'm not like them, and you've got this self-judgment. Or not thinking, well, I'm not like that, and thinking, okay, I'm not going to go out there and advertise in a negative way. You're going to advertise in a good way, and that you don't think it's too hard. There's just no promotions. It's just not possible. You're going to get rid of those mindsets, and you're going to give yourself a mindset that says, here's my vision. Here's what I want to accomplish. Yeah, it might not happen today, but I'm going to put a plan together. I'm going to believe that it's going to happen. I'm going to be out there. I'm going to be talking to people. I'm going to keep my boss informed. I'm going to be contributing. I'm going to be having an impact. I'm going to ask for feedback. I'm going to actively make this my campaign to grow in my career. And I'm going to be positive about it. I'm going to be communicative about it. And in time, I know it's going to happen because I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to advance in my career.